Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Philadelphia Eagles Now. And today, let's answer some more of your mailbag questions as submitted on a previous video. We did one mailbag video a couple days ago. Now we're going to answer the rest of them because this was one of the better mailbag hauls in terms of good questions. So let's just jump right in. Logan says, do you think Reagor will be a bust / not perform well because of his not great hands? Okay, well, the big knock on Jalen Reagor, besides the fact his stats weren't that great in 2019, is that he dropped a lot of passes. And I say dropped because the advanced stats, the advanced look at Jalen Reagor at TCU go against this idea that he's a bust / can't catch the football. Pro Football Focus had a great write-up on this pre-NFL draft. Listen to this. Reagor's production was as bad as it gets this past season at TCU, hauling in only 43 of his 88 targets for 611 yards and 5 scores. This was largely because he had to endure horrendous quarterback play and poor usage. Reagor saw a catchable target just 61.4% of the time, which ranked 118th among 120 wideouts who saw at least 80 targets. Do you understand what that means? It means he was getting horrible passes thrown at him that he could not catch. That's why he was 43 out of 88 in terms of receptions. Guess who's throwing him the football this time? A guy named Carson Wentz, who throws one of the most catchable footballs in the National Football League. Now, the Eagles have had problems with actual drops, like Nelson Agholor actually drops catchable balls. Reagor's not going to do that. He drops uncatchable footballs, which is what every receiver, unless your name is like Julio Jones, would do on any given day in the National Football League. So no fear about that. I've talked extensively about Jalen Reagor, how I didn't like him at first. Once I did my research, though, I'm all on board. This is an explosive play waiting to happen. He's going to catch the football, and he's going to be a massive part of the Eagles' wide receiver depth chart and the Eagles' offensive scheme, especially with the injury concerns for Alshon Jeffery and DeSean Jackson and the loss of Marquise Goodwin. So no concerns there. He's not going to be a bust. I am pumped to see Jalen Reagor play this year. If you're pumped to see Jalen Reagor play this year, give this video a thumbs up. Drop me a like down below. Right below the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up or above the subscribe button. Either way, thumbs up of the video if you guys are excited to see Jalen Reagor play in 2020. Okay, next question here comes from Aoitna. Sniper. I don't know how to say your name, but you see your name on the screen. Your question is, who do you see winning the nickel spot? Okay. I keep saying it's going to be Sidney Jones, but then I say that, and you guys immediately go, no, Nickell Roby-Colman is a top 5 nickel guy in the National Football League. Is he a top 5 nickel guy in the National Football League? I guess some national media guy wrote that when the Eagles signed Roby-Colman. Everyone said, oh my gosh, yes, they got him. Is he legitimately, though? No. There are better slot cornerbacks, and he's probably not a top 5 guy, but he will compete, and it's going to be him versus Sidney Jones for the nickel cornerback spot, and it doesn't matter who wins because hopefully the better player wins, and he plays well at the nickel because the Eagles have had problems at the nickel. They've had problems at cornerback. This year is the best year of the Eagles in terms of outlook for the defensive back group. It's the best year it's been in a very, very long time. So it's Jones or Roby-Colman. I'm going to say it's Sidney Jones because I've liked what he's done in certain stretches during the 2019 season. Roby-Colman, if he's as good as people keep telling me he is, then sure, start him, but let's see what happens during the training camp battle. I think it will be Jones, but if you think it's Coleman, then let me know. If you think it's going to be Jones, type J down below in the comments section. If you think it's going to be Coleman, type C down below, right below there. I want to see who is a Coleman fan and who is a Jones fan. I'm going to be looking at the comments here, so let me know down below. Jason Cole says, do you think the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders this year? How big of a role do you think Goodwin was going to play in Philly's offense? So 2 questions here. I'll answer them both. So here are your Vegas odds right now. You asked me, are the Eagles Super Bowl contenders? Here's what Vegas says. In the NFC, 49ers the first best odds. Saints they're at 12-1. Bucks 14-1. Cowboys at 17-1. The national obsession with Dallas is so annoying. Then there's, look, Philadelphia right there. That would mean Philadelphia would be one of the wild card teams if you were actually going by all these teams, winning their division. But there you go, 20-1. So Vegas thinks the Eagles have decent odds in the NFC, and I think that they do too. Sure, do the Niners, Saints, and Bucks all have better overall rosters? Yeah, you could probably make that argument, but I think Philadelphia's defensive line is better than all of those minus the 49ers. They are going to be good this year. And I think that they are good enough to not only win the NFC East, but win the NFC East by a lot more than what they did last year, where it came down to a Week 16 matchup against the Dallas Cowboys in Philadelphia to basically lock up the division before going on the road to take on the New York Giants. I think the Eagles win the division by 2 games this year. Dallas is going to be a mess. They always are. Sure, they have talent, but they have a guy named Dak Prescott, who to me is not a good quarterback. Wentz is way better. And with the new weapons that he has, I think he's going to be fantastic. Now, he does lose Marquise Goodwin. I've said Chris Godwin all week. Marquise Goodwin, but you got to remember, Marquise Goodwin caught 12 passes for a weak wide receiver group in the 49ers last year. I'm not worried about Marquise Goodwin leaving at all. Was I excited for him? Yeah, I was. And they probably would have thrown him some deep balls and he would have been fast and exciting. But the Eagles did draft John Hightower and Quez Watkins and Jalen Reagor, and so I think they're going to be okay. You guys think the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders? I feel like there's like 10 teams that you can say are Super Bowl contenders, but I do feel good about Philadelphia's chances. If you agree, give me a Go Birds down below in the comment section. You know, I always chant that Lincoln Financial Field. Give me a Go Birds down below in the comment section if you guys think the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. They gotta be. Too much talent not to be. Too much talent not to be. I saw this one earlier. I love this one. Brian says, will the Eagles lean more on the pass or run? So, let's look at the deep dive. Last year, they relied more on the pass, 57.5% of the time, versus the run, 42.5% of the time. And traditionally, the Eagles have always been a heavy pass team, especially since drafting Carson Wentz a couple of years ago. Here's the problem, though. I'm not saying that they're going to pass the ball less than they run, but they need to run it more. Last year, in all 6 of the Eagles' losses, there was a similar factor, and that was less than 30 yards or less than 30 total attempts to run the football. Literally every single one. Week 2 against the Falcons, they ran the ball 21 times. Week 6 against the Vikings, 22 times. Week 7 against Dallas, 28 times. Patriots, 21 times. Seahawks, 23 times. Dolphins, 19 times. And it's not just like the Eagles were getting blown out, so they had to run the football. The only real blowout football game was the Week 6 loss against the Minnesota Vikings. The Patriot game was a one-score game. The Seahawks game was a one-score game. The Dolphin game, the Eagles had a massive lead and didn't run the football, and that's why they lost. Running the football is going to be very important for Philadelphia in 2020, and it needs to be over 30 every single game, I think, for the Eagles to have immense success running the football, and they should because Miles Sanders is so great. The only time that the Eagles rushed the ball for 30 or more times and lost was Detroit Week 3. And then the only wins they had last year where they had less than 30 carries was 28 against Washington in Week 1, and then 29 attempts against the Jets. The Jets are pretty bad, and so is Washington. So the stats literally scream, run the ball more, and you will win. That's what the stats say. Literally every single game last year, minus Detroit, 30-plus rushes, they are winning that football game. Those are pretty darn good odds. So I'm hoping they run the ball more, but they did pass more last year, which is probably part of your question. You know, I'm also hoping you pick up one of these sweet Eagle t-shirts that are on sale right now at chatsports.com/Eagle shirts. The majority of them are on sale up to 25 to 50% off. The link is down below. You're seeing a bunch of them flash on your screen right now, but there are even more. Men's, women's, kids, all different colors and sizes. It's Eagle t-shirt season here at the Philadelphia Eagles Now YouTube channel. So go ahead and click the link down below, chatsports.com/Eagles shirts to pick up your Eagles t-shirt right now. All right, Adele asks here, do you think Jeffery and D-Jack will be on the team next year? If not on the team next year, who do you think is going to be on our starting wide receivers next year? Okay, so DeSean Jackson is signed through 2022, and Alshon Jeffery is signed through 2021. So both of them contractually should be on the team next year, but there is a chance with the age and the injuries that they could be cut or traded. So let's just say that they get cut or traded. What do you do with the wide receiver position? Before I show you some options in free agency in the NFL draft, be sure to subscribe to Philadelphia Eagles Now because we are the best Eagles show on YouTube. And especially as we get closer and closer to the start of the NFL season, training camp, they're going to be in pads in a couple of weeks, really. All the different news is going to be latest and breaking and all happening right here. So go ahead and subscribe to Philadelphia Eagles Now. So if we have to get a receiver, if the Eagles have to get a receiver in 2021, they could first look at the free agent market. And there's some very big wide receivers who will be free agents. Doesn't mean they will actually hit the free agent market, but the Eagles could take a look. A.J. Green's a free agent. Allen Robinson, he'll be highly sought after. He's a free agent. T.Y. Hilton, Keenan Allen, Sammy Watkins, Marvin Jones. There's your top 6 in terms of free agent wide receivers. Pretty good, right? So if you lose Jackson and Jeffery, there are some options. Now, also, much like this year in the 2020 NFL draft, the 2021 NFL draft is loaded with great wide receivers. Jamar Chase, who was Joe Burrow's #1 target more than Justin Jefferson was last year, he will be eligible for the NFL draft. Justin Ross out of Clemson, he'll be eligible. Jalen Waddle from Alabama. Devontae Smith from Alabama. My personal favorite, Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. He's massive. He'll be in the NFL draft. And then Moore out of Purdue, who's kind of lesser known, but will also be very good. He will be in the NFL draft as well. So there's a lot of options at wide receiver if the Eagles were to lose either one or two of DeSean Jackson and Alshon Jeffery. Plus, you got to think Reagor in year 2. You got to think maybe Chris Scott or Marquise Goodwin is going to be back. You got to think that maybe Quez Watkins or John Hightower, they could pop. So the Eagles have a lot of options at what once was a highly upsetting position group to watch. Past couple of years, it's been very bad. They look really good this year. Not only have success in 2020, but success in the future going forward for many, many years to come. I would not be surprised, though, if they add another wide receiver next offseason in 2021. There you go, though. Hopefully I answered all the questions. I think that was like 99% of the questions that we got on our Eagle Mailbag request video a couple of days ago. So hopefully your questions were asked and answered. If not, you can DM me on Twitter at RealThomasMott and ask your question there as well. All the time we have for today here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. I am your host and fearless leader, Thomas Mott, signing off. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.